This video talks about your final project, a project that is called the Instagrammable Art Show. Now, I have taught this project before. For the last 2 semesters, because of the pandemic, I've been teaching this class online. However, this is the first class that I have taught in the summer. So this is an 8-week course, and I'm more accustomed to teaching like 16-week courses. Now, with that said, I generally have people write 2 papers. One is the midterm exam, and the second is a big, like 5-page long research paper. The reality is, you turned in your midterms a week ago, and I'm only about halfway through grading them. It really takes a lot out of me grading the essays, and so I personally would rather keep you from having to write an essay because no one likes, well, some people do, but many people don't like writing essays, and I don't have to read them, and this is a fun visual project. So I think it would be better for me to put it back into the class. So that is the logic here. You've seen on Blackboard that there is the Instagrammable Art Show handout. And I'm going to read this handout really fast, and then I'm going to show you some examples from past students. And hopefully you'll get the gist of what I'm looking for. So, this project is assigned today, July 12th, and it is due no later than August 1st. That is a Friday, so that's different than other due dates, but it is the last day of the semester. And so I'm turning grades in the next day, so you have to get this project done and up on Instagram before the end of the day on Friday. It's an imperative. Now, before we get started, I want to give a little disclaimer that this project includes the use of Instagram. If you do not have an iPhone or a smartphone, Instagram is available online, and I will show you how to use it from your desktop. You will be using a Finsta or fake Instagram account, so don't worry about your friends seeing it. If you cannot use Instagram, email me immediately, and we will come up with an alternative but similar project. I have used the platform in several of my classes, and it has been especially useful during the pandemic and through distance learning. It's fun, you'll like it, and you probably already know how to use it. And at least you won't be writing a paper. So I think a lot of people will like it. It's definitely not the worst project in the world. So I think it's a good way to round out the semester. So here's a quick description. There are 3 elements of your capstone project, including research, curating an Instagram exhibition, and image captions. In these final 3 weeks of the semester, you are to research the art history of a culture that you would like to learn more about. Armed with your research, you will then curate an art show to be seen and experienced on Instagram. You will also give a title to your show and caption each image explaining why you selected it. So, to reiterate, there are 3 parts to a successful final project. One is researching, and so that is independently driven. You'll be doing that yourself. Then you're going to, for the second part, be curating the Instagram exhibition. What I mean is you're going to choose artworks that illustrate what you are researching. And then the third part is you're going to write a caption for each of those images. So you'll do a little bit of writing, but you'll be writing with your thumbs on your phone, and it'll be fine. This project has gone over well each time I've taught it. So, with the research, first you must find a culture, nationality, or marginalized community that you would like to research from an art historical perspective. The intent of this assignment is to learn about art that has been excluded from mainstream textbooks and to this point excluded from this class. Be interested in your chosen culture and be sincere to your approach. Don't choose the USA as a blanket statement, American art. Don't choose that, or European art, or even South American art. These are all examples. But you may select a microcosm of any of these. So, here are some examples. Polish art, Mexican art, or Honduran art. Those are all countries, but they're not continents. So think about these little microcosms that you want to research. Native American art is a really great one. African American art is great. So is gay and queer. Activist protest, folk art. Folk art, if you don't know, is art that is often made by what's called outsider artists or people who are not educated in art practices, informal art practices, but they make art anyway. So folk art is often very much a cultural thing. So you've got old what would be called Pennsylvania Dutch or old German style artwork that's made in the mountains of Pennsylvania. That would be a type of folk art. And so outsider art is another term for art in general that is less cultural but still made by people without an education in a formal education in art making. So that would be people with developmental disabilities or elderly people or even just children. So that is outsider art. Another good option is illegal or censored art. So what is the history of censorship in art? That would be a really great thing to research. When researching the art of your culture, you should get an understanding of all types of art made within it, from the beginning to now. You must learn about the oldest art, the newest art, and the art made in between. So, if you choose, say, Honduran art from Honduras, and of course, don't choose specifically what's on this list, choose something that interests you. If you choose Honduran art, I want to know the prehistory, or what's often called pre-Columbian. So before Christopher Columbus, what was the art that was made in Honduras? I want to know the art made in Honduras in the early years of, say, European influence. I want to know what's going on in what was going on in sort of the middle part of the Honduran art history and what's going on in contemporary Honduran art. So I want to know the beginning, the middle, and the current. So your requirements for your research include researching the breadth and history of art within your chosen culture. I want you to identify major events that happened in that culture. So that would be a civil war, maybe World War II if you're a European country, say doing Polish art. How about when Christopher Columbus comes to the Americas and then you have colonialization? What are the major events of that country and what art came from those events or was made around that time. Think about that. And I want you to select a marginalized or foreign culture to research. So this is important. I can't bring it home enough how important this is. One of the things that really bothers me, especially in teaching this class, is that I am not particularly knowledgeable in art from other cultures other than European or American art. And that's normal. Textbooks, they specifically cover European and American art. I want you to come up with something different. I want you to teach yourself something, and I want you to teach me something, because we are living in a global world, global society, and there are lots of people who have great histories but just aren't really in your textbook. So figure that out and do some research on it. Moving on to the second real point of the project is I want you to curate an Instagram exhibition. After researching the art of your chosen culture, it's time to select 20 different artworks to include in your exhibition. Remember that your chosen artworks must demonstrate the breadth of your research, and they must illustrate the history of that culture within them. So when you're researching the events and the important movements of the culture, what are the 20 images that can illustrate beginning, middle, and current? So here are your image requirements. By the way, you may use video as well. I guess I don't have that in here, but please do. Your requirements. Select artworks that fit together and illustrate your research. You must have 20 different artworks, and you must choose your art carefully. Chosen artworks should include the very oldest all the way to the very newest, and you must have a mix of two-dimensional and three-dimensional art. Now, the third pillar of the project are the captions. Again, you are not required to write a paper because you're probably sick of those, but instead you will focus on writing captions for each image. These are the requirements for your captions. You must update your bio at the top of your page to include these: the title of your show, for an example, Indigenous Art from Mexico. And you must write 1 to 2 sentences on why you are interested in these artworks. For example, I am interested in Indigenous art from Mexico because I've always found it interesting and my family immigrated here from these communities. That's a great reason and example as to what interests you, why you're interested in this project, in this subject. So that's at the top, that's in your bio. Every single artwork must have a caption that includes these. I need to know the title of the artwork, the name of the artist. If the artwork is ancient and cannot be attributed to a person, write the culture that it came from. So Aztec, Inca. Write the medium that was used and the year it was made. And I want to know the dimensions. Do the height by the width by the depth. And then I want one sentence in each caption that describes why you chose the artwork that you did and really where it fits in to your research. Now, let's move on to grading. Please be aware that you will be graded on the successful completion of the above requirements. Make sure that each bullet point in the above requirements sections are complete or you will receive partial credit. The Instagrammable Art Show project assignment is worth 30% of your final grade. Your midterm was worth 20%. This is worth 30%. It's huge, so you have to do a good job. Please take this assignment seriously and complete it in good time. Then I go on to explain using Instagram, essentially. If you do not already have Instagram on your phone, you need to download it now. It's free and you'll love it. Do not use your personal account. You can tap your name at the top of your account page and add a secondary account. This is what I'm calling your Finsta, your secondary account or your fake Instagram. You must choose a name that fits the following format. I cannot be guessing as to whose account I am looking at. So the format is your first name, your last initial, and then I want it to say Intro to Visual Art. That way, if something goes wrong, if I accidentally unfollow you, I can search your name and find it. An example, here's my name. Philip Spangler becomes Philip S. Intro to Visual Art. That easy. And I want you to create your account as soon as possible and follow me so that I know you are on the right track. This is the account that I'm using for this class. Introduction to Visual Art. Just type that in at the top of your Instagram, find the account, hit follow. If you do not follow the above account, I won't be able to find you and you won't get credit. Email me immediately with any issues that you may encounter. And so this is a little more of an explanation on how to use Instagram. From your smartphone, download the Instagram app if you do not already have it. Create an account and give yourself a name. If you are not familiar with Instagram, you should try adding posts and deleting them. Don't wait until the last minute to figure out the application. There are many tutorials on how to use Instagram online and on YouTube. Do your research. It is a pretty easy tool. If after researching how-tos and you still can't figure it out, contact me and we will figure it out together. If you already have Instagram, you can create a second account special to this class. From your profile, tap your name at the top of the screen, select the plus sign and add account. If you do not have a smartphone, there are ways to use Instagram on your computer, though it is complicated. Accommodations and alternatives can also be made. So, again, if you cannot do this project, you must let me know, and you must let me know as soon as possible. If you cannot do Instagram for some reason, let me know, and let me know as soon as possible. All right, so I'm going to move on and show you some examples from last semester. This is the icon that you'll find that's my account, and of course it says Introduction to Visual Art. I still have 19 followers and 19 following. After this, I'm going to kick everyone off, all my old class, and then I want you to sign up again. All right, so let's go to my followers. Let's see what Nicole had. Hers was Nicole, you don't need to give your last name. The Beauty of Art from Poland. And her explanation as to why she was interested: I am 100% Polish and grew up going to Poland every summer. Along with their rich culture, this is why I chose Polish art. So you go down here, you see some contemporary stuff. And you see some things more around World War II. Some other stuff like this, some ancient stuff. Or some sort of Renaissance era. And then you get down to the really old things. So let's click on one of these and check it out. She wrote, the name of the piece, the artist, the year, and the medium and the size. And then she wrote actually a lengthy sentence. His series of executions represents the physical existence of the human body or the existence of man at the moment of death. The great communist terror began destroying human minds and bodies, which drew me to reflect if the time period was affecting his style message. I think that this is really great. She's really tying in her research here. And so I think a lot of these are really great. I do want to point out some criticism. The quality of photos is not good. She pulled the images up on her computer, on her desktop, and then photographed them with her cell phone. Don't do that. It looks bad. And then there's another criticism I have is what the heck is going on here? Now, I am totally down with artists that I've never seen or like that I don't know, but these aren't. I don't think these paintings really show. This maybe is a good one. This is a good one, but they don't really show the most. This isn't really representative of the trend of contemporary art. These are sort of. I'm sure she just did a Google search, a Google image search, and chose images that she liked. But I want to see the more important pieces. These aren't very important. But she did have the name of the artist, and she followed all of the directions. So she got full credit. But I thought some of these were a bit annoying. Let's see what else. I'll look at. We got another Polish art here. Let's see what Margaret did. She did Swedish art. So this is cool. It shows some like medieval metalwork, shows some ancient art, shows some contemporary sculpture. She really got all of it here. She did a great job on this one. So, Swedish art tends to consist of foliage and flowers, but this gives Swedish art a modern twist and it's somewhat abstract. I think that's a really great explanation. So do something along those lines. That is the end of my introduction to this assignment. I do want to do one more thing, which is I want to show you how to use Instagram on the computer. If you are interested in learning how to do that, go ahead and keep watching. If not, you can sign off now and get started. Sign up and follow me on the gram. All right, so I'm going to go to my profile here, and you'll notice that it's not really editable. You can't add photos, you can't adjust things, but I'll show you a little trick. If you're on a PC, right-click anywhere on the screen, or if you're on a Mac computer like I am, hit Control, click, and then find the menu and go down to Inspect. And here you have all this complicated stuff on the side. Don't worry about it. But there is this thing, this little icon here, the toggle device toolbar. So right now, I am looking at the iPhone version of Instagram. This is the internet version. So toggle to the iPhone version right here. And then you might have to refresh. And now you see you can add an account. You can add a post by clicking that button. And that's how you start sharing. And so I can even go as far as editing my profile, which I'm going to do right now. So switching over to summer 2021, and then that is the info, and you can, like I said, make your posts here and do all that. So again, control click or right click, hit that icon, and you are good. Okay, hit the X and you're out of it. All right, so good luck, get started, good luck, and I look forward to seeing what people have.